Alright guys, what's going on? So in the last video, you guys saw me install these saucy new taillights. Alright, I also told you guys about a little problem I was having with them. It does this really stupid thing where it turns on the warning light for the rear lights. So I'll just start it so you guys can see. And then the second I turn on my lights, that light right there comes on. So I'm gonna fix that.
Booyah, bitches! We're back at it.
Alright guys, so basically the problem that I'm having is being caused by the taillight fault detection circuit, which is located right about there. Now the issue is that basically since I switched from the factory taillights to a set of LED taillights, the LEDs don't draw as much current as a factory bulb would. Basically it's just detecting that and seeing that there's less current going through the circuit than usual, and it's thinking that that's just a burned out bulb. So what I have to do is go in there and actually remove the ground for the warning light. So once I remove that ground, the warning light shouldn't come on anymore, and we should be able to run these tail lights comfortably. Alright, so basically to start out, I have to actually remove this entire trunk panel right here. And to do that, I've got to take the carpet out, I've got to take the reinforcement mat, and I have to take all of the tools and stuff that's on top of the jack just to be able to get it out. So let's get started. Alright, so now that I've got all of this stuff out of the way, I can go ahead and start taking the panel out. So first off, there's going to be two little bolts that I have to take out, little 10 millimeters, and then there are a bunch of clips. So you got to take off this little guy and all of the clips that are going to be around clipping it to the body. Alright guys, so you can't see it right now, but right around here, that little clip right there, that red one, is for the taillight fault detection ECU. So we're just going to go ahead and pull that out. I'm also going to take this clip out for the wiring harness so that I can have a little more room to get to it. Alright, there we go guys. Right there, that is the lamp failure ECU. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug this connector from it. There's a little tab that you push and just wiggle it out. So if you look at the front of it, it's got a bunch of terminals on it. The way that you read these terminals is when you're facing the connector, you read them from left to right. So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, 5, and so on. So basically, what you're going to have to do to fix this is you're going to have to find terminal 4, which is this one right here, and either cut that wire or depin it. It should be a purple and green wire. Now, I don't really want to just cut it off, because if there is any chance that I'm going to go back to the factory taillights, then I want that to be still available to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take that pin out of the connector and just tape it up with the harness so that it won't turn the light on anymore, but I still have the option of reinstalling it if I ever want to put different taillights on it. So now this might be a little hard for you guys to see, but at the bottom of the connector, the part that doesn't have the push tab, there's going to be this little lock right here. Now this is a secondary lock for the connector. Now what you're going to want to do is just pop this up. What I'm doing is I'm just taking a little T-pin and I'm prying up on it. You can kind of see the tab has now come up. It only comes up a little bit. So once it clicks into place, don't try to pull it any harder because you will break the connector. So here's the tough part. If you see that pin Up top is where the actual connection goes inside of. Under the pin, there's going to be a little lock mechanism. So you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you push the pin in before you start. Because if you don't do that, then you'll cause excessive tension to be placed on that lock mechanism, and then you won't be able to pry it up. And you'll actually end up breaking the lock inside and making it super hard to pull out. So I'm just using a little T-pin. That's all that I use for these. Usually anything this big or a little bit smaller, you can get away with the T-pin. Anything smaller than that, you are going to have to use an actual de-pinning tool. So I just stick it in the front. Once I feel that lip, I just pry and then pull on the back, and that pin is out. So then I can re-engage the locks just by pushing them in. And I'm just going to tape this back up into the harness. Now you don't necessarily have to be extremely careful with this connector because it is only the ground side of the circuit. So if it does touch any bare metal or anything like that, it's not going to harm anything. It's not going to blow any fuses. It's just basically going to be like a little loop to ground. It's not actually going to do anything. And there we go. If I ever need to, I can pull the pin out of the tape and reconnect it. Super easy. But that'll turn my light off. Alright guys, so I got the ECU back into place. Everything is all finished, so now I'm just going to put together the trunk and check to make sure it worked. Alright guys, so you guys can check it out. Boom. The light still comes on for bulb check, as it should. You turn the car on, it turns off. And then, my lights are on now. And there's no warning light. Bitch, yeah. I'm stoked, because like, I thought these taillights were so sexy, and then I put them in and that happened. I was so scared that like it was gonna be some shit that I couldn't fix and I would have to like deal with it the rest of my life, and I just didn't want to do that. So glad it got fixed. I think the next thing on the agenda is doing something about this squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. We're fixing it next week. See you guys then.